And good afternoon, and thank you for clicking in today on the ETBU Sportsnet. Hello, I'm Mike McKiff, and today we have ETBU Extra, heard each Wednesday from noon to 1 on the ETBU Sportsnet, broadcasting live from the Huffman Student Activities Area on the campus of ETBU, right in the center of the Ornelas Student Center. Of course, we'll talk Tiger athletics for the next hour. We'll talk Tiger softball, Tiger volleyball. Lindsey Mash is here. We'll talk Tiger tennis with head coach Jeff Bramlett. We'll probably talk Tiger football because the man sitting next to me is the head coach of the Tigers, Joshua Eargle. And, Coach, welcome to the show today. And, of course, things are better around the field house when you get a W.
Oh, absolutely, Mike. I think a few more smiles, a little bit more upbeat personalities going around the field house this weekend.
But I also know it's all about business. Last Saturday, the Tigers won on the road at Rose State, and they played Texas College, which is an NAIA school. They won 56-14. I guess the thing that I saw this week that most has impressed people is not really a play that mattered in the ball game. It was Jordan McNeil's hurdle over a defensive guy in the ball game, which came back for a penalty. But that play has been all over the internet right now. It's pretty cool that he took down. And do you recommend running backs to hurdle a defender?
Only if your name's Jordan McNeil and you're capable of doing that. But no, we're still looking for that penalty. We haven't found it on film yet, but that was a phenomenal play by J. Mack, and he's our Superman.
Let's talk about the game and the win over Texas College. Final score was 56-14. The offense got rolling again, and we expected that. But what I want to talk about first is, in my opinion, the defense has improved so much in the ball game. Your defensive front and defense secondary was able to sack their quarterback 7 times. They recorded 3 interceptions. One went to the house. C.J. Johnson intercepted the ball and went 75 yards for a touchdown. As the defensive coordinator, you have to be pleased with how the defense is progressing this season so far.
Well, we did play better, and when you turn the film on, what the first thing you see from the defense side of point of view is how fast those guys are flying around. And I thought our effort and our execution was on a much better level. The week before we got off to a really slow start, so I was really excited about to see the way they came out of the gates and how hard they were playing early. It did lead to a lot of negative yardage plays for Texas College, and it helped spark our team and where we wanted to go and what we wanted to do offensively and as an entire team.
Now, a name that I called a lot from the booth Saturday afternoon was Garrett Gibson. He's a freshman from Union Grove High School. Led the team with 9 tackles. Andre Welch had 7 tackles. You got to be pleased with the play of those 2 guys. Of course, the whole defense, as you said, was swarming around the ball.
Yeah, we ended up playing a lot of guys on Saturday, but did that by nature early in the game, not just because of the score, the lopsided score, but inside linebacker, you got Caleb Taylor and you got Garrett Gibson doing a really good job. Andre Welch came in and did a good job, like you mentioned. Got a lot more reps this week and was active and created a lot of tackles for us. C.J. Johnson had another big game. We talked to him on the show last week. This week, all he did is get an interception and return to the end zone for a touchdown. I really thought that, on that play, when you watch that play, Jalen McCloney had a big game, and he comes off the right side, and he pressures the quarterback, gets him to throw an errant throw. C.J. picks it off, and then Jalen's leading him to the end zone, getting a big block. And so really proud of Jalen McCloney. David James had another big game up front. Him and Bryce Elby, our captains on defense, have done a really good job of setting the tempo up front defensively. And in the secondary, we had 3 total picks. Zach Biles got his first pick of the year, and so did Marcus Harris. And so we were really proud about that. And then you got some guys flying around, knocking the ball loose and creating some fumbles. And so Caleb Taylor was able to recover a fumble that I believe Garrett Gibson caused.
Let's go to the offensive side of the ball, and you win over Texas College, 56-14. Josh Formerton, your quarterback, 11 of 20 for 261 yards, 3 for 4 touchdowns. Tyler Bates will be our guest here in a moment. Tyler had 5 balls thrown to him Saturday, but he dropped one of them. And that would have been his 5th touchdown, I think. No, I'm just kidding. But Tyler Bates with a great performance Saturday. He caught 4 touchdowns, thrown the ball 5 times, was 4-5 receiving. And those 4 touchdowns that he caught were of 16 yards, 75 yards, 16 yards, and 38 yards. For a quarterback, you got to be pleased to throw to Tyler Bates.
I mean, I think if I was the quarterback, I would throw to Tyler.
Every time.
If he's going to go to the end zone with it, that kind of helps my stats a little bit. But, it was one of those games where you kind of get in sync with a guy. And I think Warburton did that with Bates. And, they've had a bunch of balls thrown and caught from one another in the past already. So that's a usual connection that we're used to seeing. But Bates had a phenomenal day. It was a big day for him emotionally, and thought he battled through it. Sometimes when you're battling through some emotional things off the field, sometimes they can spark the way you play. But Tyler's a phenomenal football player, always has been here. He's been outstanding in 2 sports here at ETBU, and just represents what we're trying to get our student athletes at ETBU to act like.
Of course, what Coach Eargle is talking about, Tyler Bates' mom passed away when he was 3 years old, and it was her birthday on Saturday. Coach, without any secrets, how do you defend a Tyler Bates?
I don't think you can. I mean, I think that we'll see a game plan this week, and it'll be completely different than the past 2 he's seen, and he'll still catch his balls, and he'll still have touchdowns, but that's the nature of our offense. I really think that our offense, because we spread you so much horizontally, and then when the ball snaps, we can also stretch you vertically, and then you put a power running game in there with the backfield we have. I really think it's really hard to stop our offense in general. I don't think you can focus on one player, and I think that allows for Tyler Bates, other players like him, to be isolated. And when they're isolated, we're going to put those guys in space and give them opportunity to make plays. And when the ball's coming his way, he's going to make the play.
Well, the Tigers lost the opening game of the year at Ornelas, but come back and win this one 56-14 on Saturday. As a coaching staff and as you evaluate from game 1 to game 2, Coach, how do you grade your squad?
Well, we wanted to see big improvement like we talked about last week. We wanted to see just overall execution go up. I thought in general, I thought our execution in all 3 phases did go up. I don't think we're there yet. I don't think by any stretch of the imagination we're even close to arriving at our potential. We've got to do that again this week to really kind of catch up and get back on track. We're playing a tough team down there in Georgetown, Southwestern, that actually beat the team we lost to the first week and actually shut them out. Their defense had to score to get their 6 points. So we got our hands full this week, and if we don't show drastic improvement, if we don't show the type of improvement we did from week 1 to week 2, then we're going to have our hands full and have some issues on Saturday. But I fully expect our young men to continue to work this week and correct those things we saw on film and continue to press and gel as a team and really come together and see how good we can be this year.
Coach Eargle, before I wrap up last week's win, tell me who you wore on special teams as your special player of the week?
Yeah, every week we're recognizing that special teams player of the week, and I really thought there were a lot of good people in our coverage units. Our return units didn't really get going just because of some weird issues, just with wind down there in Rose Stadium that we experienced, and just the nature of the way the ball was being kicked away from us, so to speak. But our coverage units, there was a lot of good. Ryan Travis had another great day kicking the football. We really had challenged our deep snapper. Our deep snappers are freshmen this year, and Jacob Piper did a phenomenal job of responding to that coaching, accepting that coaching, and really working on what he needed to correct. He had a phenomenal day, really set it up to where Ryan Travis could really punt the football exceptionally well and even have a better net punt average than he did the first week, which we were proud of. So we gave it to Jacob Piper this week.
All right, congratulations to him. This Saturday, the Tigers travel to Georgetown to play Southwestern University. Now, Southwestern resurrected their football program 3 seasons ago, kind of like ETBU did back in the year 2000. And you've played them twice before, but as you said just moments ago, they beat a team that you lost to on opening night by a score of 7-6.
Right.
What is the scouting report on Southwestern for us fans who either be listening to the game Saturday night or actually travel to Georgetown like I'll be doing Saturday?
Well, Coach Austin's done a phenomenal job with Southwestern. They're a great football team, and so we're going to have to execute. We're going to need all 3 phases to play extremely well, much better than what we've been playing. We've got to take that step, like I mentioned before. But Southwestern's defense shut out McMurray, and the only way McMurray scored was on an interception. They returned it for a touchdown and missed the extra point, and Southwestern wins 7-6. Southwestern's down there in the red zone a couple more times, didn't come away with points, or it could have been even more lopsided win. On offense, they're by nature a gap running team. They're going to run. They're going to pull people. They're going to block down and kick out and pull people. And we've really got to stop their run game if we're going to have any success. And then defensively, they get in your face and they harass us. And they'll go cover 0 all night long. They don't care what happens. And we're going to have to be able to protect the quarterback up front. And we're going to have to be able to knock some holes in them and find a way to attack their stingy defense that pitched a shutout last week. Because they're so in your face, they're so man-to-man coverage and pack the box, and just they tempt you to throw the football, but by the same token, they're going to be right there on man coverage. So people like Tyler Bates, like we mentioned before, he's going to have to get off man coverage, and him and Josh are going to have to connect as well as all receivers, and then in the running game, we're going to have to find a way to knock a hole in all that blitzing, and split them with Kenneth Roberson and Jordan McNeil.
Coach, other keys to the game that we can say, hey, if this is happening, as we listen to the radio and learn and following the game Saturday, if these things are happening, things are going well for the Tigers, and that's some of the keys of the game for Tiger victory.
Well, I think we'll take those one-on-one matchups on the outside all day long. So I really believe on offense we've got to run the football, and we've got to find a way when we're outnumbered. We still, as an offensive line, can really push people around and create gaps in there to where we can run the football. I think special teams is the key again. I'm going to keep preaching it until our guys believe it with every ounce of their heart and their soul and their being. But we've got to win that. That was such a big unit for them last week in their win against McMurray. We've got to match that. And we got to match that field position battle if we get into a defensive struggle. And then on defense, we got to see the same effort and intensity and flying around that we saw last week. We got to stop their run. And if we can do that, control their pass, stop their run, control their pass, we'll be fine.
Yeah, Coach Eargle's mentioned how important special teams are in that Southwestern win over McMurray. That interception they had for a touchdown happened in the first quarter. They blocked the extra point, and who knew that later in the ball game they would win 7-6 because of special team play.
That's right.
So it's very important for special teams to execute well this Saturday against Southwestern. Coach, any final words before we let you go and bring one of your players, Tyler Bates, up here on the stage on ETB Extra?
No, good luck to all the Tigers representing ETBU this week. Volleyball and soccer and tennis, we got them all everywhere. Cross country, we got them all going this week.
That's right, we do. Coach, always good to see you, and best to the Tigers as they travel down to play Southwestern Saturday. Kickoff is 7 p.m. Game will be broadcast right here on the ETB Sportsnet. Also in Marshall and Harrison County locally on ESPN 1450 AM, 96.9 FM. When ETB Extra returns live from the Huffman Student Activities area inside the Arnella Student Center on the campus of ETB, we'll talk with Tyler Bates, wide receiver for the ETB Tigers. You're listening to the ETB Extra Show on the ETB Sportsnet.